Welcome back, everyone. Okay, can we have someone else? Anybody from primary section who's prepared with an
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll just share the sharing rights. Would you like to share? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So good evening, teachers. So this is for grade 2. Uh, and the topic is punctuation. So over here, we would like to test the children on whether they have understood the punctuation mark. So the three punctuation marks, that is full stop, question mark, and exclamation mark, whether they have understood when they have to put which punctuation mark. So on the base of the topic, I have just created an MCQ where it states that they have to put the punctuation mark at the end of the sentence, which one they will put. So the first question is, why are you shouting? Now from here, they will select which one they are going to put, like a question mark, a full stop, or an exclamation. And the right answer, they will get 1 point for the question.
Thank you so
So,
much, Lizelle, ma'am. So just
yes.
to speak about what you just said. So the purpose of this question is checking the competency level of the student being able to apply the use of punctuation marks taught in school, taught in the class.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And you have a
So this way I
point-based
have,
marking scheme.
yes, ma'am. And this way I have framed two questions. So one, like not necessarily all will be of, one punctuation mark, but it will be of different, the three punctuation marks that are taught to them.
Lovely. Excellent. Anybody who would like to share their feedback on this? Can I invite any English teacher or any other teacher who would like to share a feedback on this question, please? Anybody? Prerna ma'am, Bansi ma'am, Pooja ma'am, Bhumi ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
Miss Jaini, don't have a presentation, but we had done an activity in language
Can
for
you give a
grade 1.
feedback, Miss Bansi? Can you give a feedback on the question Miss Lizelle just shared
Yeah,
about the
she had covered
punctuation?
up. Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, Bansi ma'am, I can hear you. Anybody else? I think Bansi ma'am is having a connectivity issue. Anybody else? Primary section, English department, anybody who can just give a feedback? Miss Lizelle, I wanted to ask you, you have only 3 multiple choice options. Is it limited because of the grade level?
Yes, ma'am. We are just limiting to the grade level because
Correct.
it's grade 2. That is why.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, we'll move
Welcome.
further. We'll have Khyati ma'am. Khyati ma'am, will you please share your question?
Yes, Jenny ma'am, good evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my screen. Okay, I have a question, which is, I hope I can share my screen though. Yeah. Sorry. So this is my question and it is for a grade 10. It is a data interpretation question. So the student has to study the data. There is data of GDP and per capita given for 2 countries, sourced from the World Bank. And the question says, despite having higher total income than Germany, Japan has a lower per capita income. And what is the reason for it? So, and there are 4 options given. So this is my question. And the correct answer, if you go to C, do you need me to show the correct answer or does somebody want to guess the correct answer?
Will someone volunteer to answer this question? Anybody?
It's okay to be wrong.
Ma'am, is it 4?
Yeah, we have Ruxana.
Okay, so let's see the answer. And the correct answer is 4. Japan has a bigger population than Germany. So you were absolutely correct, ma'am. And the question, though looking simple, is testing the higher order thinking of the students, because first they have to understand, they have to first read these numbers which are not textual. Secondly, the concept of GDP and GDP per capita needs to be clear. And then they need to be aware of the population of the two countries that are randomly chosen and given to them. So a lot of competencies are being tested in a single question.
Yes, ma'am. I
Thank you.
think this question is amazing. I would like to also highlight, ma'am, quite a few things. You have also included the source of your information. So it makes it legitimate and valid. And I'd also like that it has a lot of levels of competency. Like you said, it has interpretation, analyzing, and also recalling the information they've learned. So I think it was a very well framed competency-based question. Anyone who would like to give feedback as well? Zainab ma'am or anybody else would like to give feedback? I think we are done, ma'am. Thank you so much, Khyati
Okay.
ma'am, for sharing your
Thank you.
question.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah,
I'll
it
stop
is,
Oh,
it
sharing.
is
Zainab,
it is a kind of a hot question, I felt, because it was a little above my level. I have not gone through this question. Now that I'm going through it, I feel it is a little higher complex based stuff for me.
okay, thank you. Yes. Anyone else who's ready with their question would like to share? Pre-primary
Jenny
department?
ma'am,
Yes.
Jenny ma'am, I
Yes.
have the question. I will read aloud the
That's
question.
fine. Yes, ma'am, it will do.
Okay. So it goes like that. For natural vegetation and wildlife, this was the question I'm putting forward for. Tokens are a kind of options are crops, insects, animals, or birds. This is for lower level, okay?
Can you repeat?
Tokens are a kind of dash species.
Okay.
Options are birds, crops, insects, animals.
Okay. Anyone would like to try for the answer?
Birds.
Thank you. Is that the answer, Zainab ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a little connection error. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any feedback? Anyone would like to share feedback on
It
the
was-
question?
It was for the primary level that I had
Yes.
asked for.
Okay, ma'am. Any feedback? Anyone has any interesting feedback for this?
Shit, तू बोल रही थी वो.
Okay, I think it was a well-framed question, Zainab ma'am, and for the grade level you said, I think it was appropriate to test the competencies. Can I have someone else, anybody from the Hindi department, to share an MCQ or any other item that they have developed?
Jenny ma'am,
Yes, Sonali ma'am, will you share? Would you like to share?
can I read it out for
Yes,
you?
you can read it out. Yes, Sonali ma'am. Reading out, typing on the chat box, everything is fine.
Okay, ma'am. The question goes like this. Choose the most important nutrient that is involved in every vital process of the body. The
Okay.
options are minerals, carbohydrate, protein, and water.
Okay. Anyone to try for the answer? Anyone to try for the answer? Rohini ma'am. Gule sir, Yadav sir, anyone who's going to answer this question? No, Sonali ma'am, I think you should share the answer.
Yes, the answer is water.
Yes. I think it was a nice question which was testing the competency. Anyone else who would like to share their questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sonali ma'am. Do we have anyone from the science department, secondary section? Science department, secondary section. Anybody? Arlene or Pooja Dugal ma'am? No? Can someone please share an item that they've created? Yeah, thank
Jenny,
you.
ma'am, Aline.
Yes, Arlene.
Yeah, so I was actually trying to type the question, so it was taking some time. So I think I'll just read it out then.
Yes.
Okay. So the question is, an element X combines with oxygen to form an oxide, XO. What is the formula of its chloride? And then I have options: XCl, XCl2, XCl3, and XCl5.
So what is the purpose of this question? Which competency would you be checking for?
Yeah. So over here, basically what we are trying to check the child is whether they understand the concept of valency and molecule formation. So if the child is able to derive the valency of X, which is not given, so based on the valency of X, and then with the help of that, he will calculate the formula for chloride.
So there are multiple competencies that can be identified with this question. Yes. Thank you, Arlene ma'am. Anyone who would like to give her a feedback on this? Pooja Dugal ma'am or Umesh sir? Anyone who can give a feedback on this? Okay. Moving on, do we have anybody from the Hindi department? Seema ma'am, Poonam Singh ma'am, Sunita ma'am, anyone who's got a item writing?
मैम
Yes, Poonam Singh ma'am.
हाँ मैम, एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है। निम्नलिखित में से संज्ञा का प्रकार है, निम्नलिखित में से संज्ञा का प्रकार है सुंदर, आजकल और जैनी मिस।
Right. This इसमें competency आप क्या चेक कर रहे हो?
मैम इसमें मैं बच्चे का बस नॉलेज के उसको संज्ञा पता है, उसको विशेषण भी पता है, दस ओनली द नॉलेज। there here there is no application based knowledge, as well as he is applying, and he will apply on the basis of he will have a knowledge of not only visheshan, kriya, and then संज्ञा की संज्ञा में ये नाम है तो उसको अंडरलाइन कर पाएगा एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड।
Thank you so much, Poonam ma'am. That was a well framed question as well. I can see all teachers are putting in so much effort and creating such great competency-based questions. I think, Rabu ma'am, you've done a fabulous job. All my teachers already know about it. Pre-primary department, can we have someone from you all? Anybody who can who has framed a item writing, question and answer both? Rosina ma'am, would you help me out? Someone from the pre-primary department, please. Do I have someone? Arshdeep, Jaishri ma'am. I can't see anybody from pre-primary. Insia ma'am. Anyone who's framed a MCQ? Seema ma'am. Aisha ma'am. Anyone who's framed an MCQ? Secondary section, senior secondary section, anybody? Ruxana ma'am. Parvati ma'am. Sabrina ma'am, Dinah ma'am, anybody who has framed a item writing?
Am I audible, Jaini ma'am?
Yes, Rushali ma'am, you're
Rushali, yes.
audible.
Yeah, I'm sharing my MCQ. I'll just read it out.
Okay.
Which of the following is not an attribute of the HTML font tag? Which of the following is not an attribute of the HTML font tag? The options are A, face, B, width, C, size, and D, color. In this item, or rather an MCQ, it is completely application based. Some of the attributes are also used in HTML with other tags. So the child has to give a little bit thinking effort while choosing the answer in the stream. So the child knows how to write the code, HTML code practically, but also he has to apply here that some of the attributes are common with other tags also. So while giving the answer, the student will have to think upon what is the correct answer of the stream.
Okay. I think that's a good question, Rushali ma'am, because the child will need to know all the elements of HTML and all the tags to correctly identify the answer. Thank you so much, Rushali ma'am. Can I again request anybody from the pre-primary section, Safura ma'am, Fatima ma'am, Priya ma'am, Aisha ma'am?
Ma'am, can I ask?
Yes, definitely. Please share your item writing process with us.
How many days are there in a week? So the option is 6, 7, 8.
Okay. And considering your kids are smaller, would this be something on a, would you read out to the children, or would you be having it on the projector screen where they are allowed to touch the answer?
We will read out. It will be an oral one.
Okay. Okay, Dinah ma'am. And your
And they
marking
know
scheme?
that they know the counting. It's for junior to senior KG level. They know the counting and they know it like how to answer it. So it's for that. We say the days of the week when we do our routine mornings, so they know it very well.
Okay, thank you, Dinah ma'am. I think that was a good question for the pre-primary section. Anyone else?
And I
Jaini ma'am?
believe all the
Jaini
teachers
ma'am?
know the answer.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, Rosina ma'am,
Jaini
you
ma'am?
have something to share? Yes.
Can I share my view? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Please,
MCQ for
that'd be
pre-primary
great feedback.
Yeah. Children being very small, so we can give them in form of, can we give them form of worksheet where, 4 pictures can be put and they can just strike out the odd one out. For example, rainy creatures. So we can have snail, earthworm, or whatever, and the other wild animal, we can put one picture over there and let them strike out the odd one out. So this is also one way of, giving picture kind of MCQ, because they are too small and they won't be able to read anything on their own. So they'll
Yeah,
be
this
able to
would
do
be a
this on
very
their.
good way of assessing their interpretation as well, because they will have to identify the things by themselves.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rosina ma'am. That was a great idea for pre-primary. Yes, anybody from senior secondary?
Yes, can I say,
Yes,
ma'am?
Yasmin ma'am. Yes, primary section. Yes, Yasmin ma'am. Please
Okay.
share.
It's a maths question. Anna is taller than both Ben and Sam. Derek is shorter than Sam, but taller than Ben. Who is the shortest? Anna, Ben, Sam, or Derek?
I think this question is testing too many competencies. Anyone who would like to give an insight on this one? This question looks really interesting. Is someone giving me feedback on this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Poonam
This,
Singh, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's a
question has
problem solving question. It's
critical
based
thinking,
on thoughts
analysis,
for the grade
analytical
5
thinking.
students.
Yes. Thank you, Poonam Singh, ma'am. Yes, you're right. It is critical problem solving analysis. It checks so many competencies of the child. The child will have to think for an answer. And when the child has to think, it's when they are developing the competencies. So I think this is a very, very, very challenging question. Very well framed, Yasmin, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Ma'am, may I share?
Yes, Alina, ma'am, definitely. Please do share.
Ma'am, I would need the screen share.
I have shared the permission, ma'am. You can screen share.
So, ma'am, in the chapter for social studies, realms of the earth, when we are doing the topic relationship between man and the biosphere, after explaining, I would ask my children this question in order to understand how much they have understood. The question is, the relationship between man and biosphere is very important because, and I would give them 4 options. The balance is not affected by human activities because humans are not a part of biosphere. The balance is greatly affected by human activities. The balance is not affected by human activities because biosphere is capable of adapting to any changes caused by humans. The balance is not affected by humans as the land and water manage it.
Okay.
So once the child answers, we are expecting this kind of explanations to come from the children, that human activities have a significant impact on the balance of ecosystems. Our actions affect the environment in many ways, which include deforestation, pollution, climate change, and it is very important for us to be aware of our impact that we have on the environment and take steps to reduce our footprint. This is what we explained during this part. So these all justifications we would like for the option that they would choose, which they would choose the second option, the balance is greatly affected by humans. And we would give 1 mark for this.
Okay, thank you so much, Alina, ma'am. Ma'am, can I give you my feedback on this?
Yes, definitely, ma'am.
Ma'am, I feel your question is excellent. Your purpose is fantastic. I felt that the answers, the options you have, if you see 3 of them say not affected and 1 says greatly affected. Just to balance it out, we could have, something often, or you could have another degree of word use there, so that it becomes a little competent for the child to think, because there's only 1 positive and 3 negative.
Okay, ma'am, definitely.
Yeah, but I love the purpose, I love the idea, and I love that you've been able to put this together for me. Thank you so much, Alina, ma'am. Anyone
Thank
else
you.
who would like to share their feedback on this question? Grade 5 social science, any other teacher? Okay. Anyone else who's kept a competency-based item ready and would like to share? Grade 1, Delzine ma'am, Pooja ma'am, Bhumi ma'am. Anybody? Bansi ma'am. Anyone has an item writing that they can share? Sujata ma'am. Shimna ma'am. Anybody? Okay. So I'm going to end the meeting again and we'll rejoin it for the last time. And in the last part of this workshop, I'm going to share a few resources that can be used to build competency-based assessment item writings. Thank you. I'll rejoin on the same link.